Let's talk about Web3, episode 10. Welcome, welcome. We got Easy back from New York. We got Ohnahji B on a streaming medley. Yeah, we'll start off with what we're grateful for. I'm gonna go first this time because I want to take what you guys are probably gonna immediately say. I'm grateful A to have both of you guys here. B for some Bitcoin all-time highs, literally as we just about to start the stream, and then C, like this last week, like we've done so much, we've gotten so much done, we've connected with so many new people and reconnected with so many old people. So it's just been a blessing and a whirlwind. I had Django here, the artist I've been working with for the last 6 years, for about a week and a half. Tomorrow he leaves, and we got a lot of good stuff done, got a lot of things moving for Web3 for him. So that was super exciting. We got his first NFT out there. I taught him how to build build his own website with vibe coding. So he has a website out on DjangoUU.com that he didn't have at the beginning of this. We had a whole Wave Wars week dedicated to him. So I'm just grateful that I'm here with so many amazing folks and like we're cooking. Right. Yeah, I'll kick it over to Easy since we haven't seen you in a minute. What are you grateful for in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, grateful to be back with y'all because it feels like it was crazy. New York was amazing. NFT NYC was great. And then I got to go upstate to the Third Planet Studio Farm where we sort of like some of the team was there working things out and like getting things down on paper and then people recording in the studio upstairs. So it just feels like it's been kind of forever since I know we did one where I jumped in during the midst of NFT NYC, but I've missed my own like easy corner during traveling. The Farhouse Friday took a week off, and like so I haven't been like on stream much. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful to be back. Thankful for the opportunity to be able to travel. And meet amazing people and sort of knock on new doors, and grateful to also have Jose Cabrera made it up to the U.S. for the first time from Venezuela yesterday. So he might pop in and like come down to my place and stay next week because we're gonna have Do It On, I believe. So we might have an extra cool special guest as well, and he can just be like sitting in a chair beside me, and we'll have a whole crew here. So yeah, just thankful for a lot of things. It's been a crazy, busy, but awesome last couple of weeks.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Love to hear it. You know me. Hey, I'm thankful. I'm thankful just to be busy. I'm thankful to have so many opportunities. I'm thankful for my family and to be able to put me in a position where I have all this free time to be able to concentrate on not only building Ohnahji and building my own entrepreneurial journey, but being able to have enough time to help some of the other homies out as well too, right? To collaborate and just to help other people build their communities that I love so much. It's like I'm really grateful for that. And sometimes I got to take a step back and kind of recognize that privilege, right? That I do have. I have we're able to survive in LA, not in a mansion or nothing like that yet, but on one income, pretty much, and I just supplement here where I can here and there, and I'm just really grateful for my girlie that can hold me down. And y'all, hey, Friday's gonna be a fun one, so we'll talk more about that maybe. But yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
Well, no, that's a perfect segue into one of my favorite things that happened in the last week, and that was Easy. I don't know if you caught this, but my guy Ohnahji B did an interview with his father, and he said he got inspiration from Jaden, which is awesome. I love that. I loved his videos with his family. I think that always gets a little bit of background into someone's life and like a little bit more of their non-business side of things, right? Like a person always presents, especially in this space. I mean, not everyone, but like the way I think in the startup world is like presents the business side of themselves. So it's always really good hearing like the other stuff, right? And I think one of the really cool lessons I kind of learned from B was that like even though we're 15 years apart, like we very much had a very similar kind of upbringing in some ways, right? Like having parents that provided for us, even though we weren't rich or we didn't have everything, right? Like we're able to get by and not have to worry, and like just being able to to have that from your parents is huge. And then also not having a lot of culture around you, you know, we super relate to that. And just being able to, you know, we both have younger sisters, which I didn't know, which is cool. And it was just like the seeing a person who raised someone get interviewed makes a lot more of an understanding of where that person comes from. But then like it's also a lot of like background that you kind of understand. It fills in the gaps. That's what I'll say, right? And that was awesome. Like, B, I want to know what like how do you feel post interview? Like, what were your thoughts going into it? I know you said after that, like both of you guys, like you had completely different thoughts and expectations going into it, and after that, completely different thoughts and expectations of things and like the future of everything, right? And I think your dad always like it was really funny because I could even I could hear not the fight with like my dad, but like that generational fight of like you him having a very, very, very good perspective, but just because he's not technologically savvy, having a preconception to certain parts of tech. And I'm not saying he's wrong. It's just that kind of boomer mentality of like like this is what everyone I know knows. Like this is my base level. And it's like to me, someone who like how it's got become even more ingrained in everything, and a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old might be more proficient than like not you, Ohnahji B, as a 40-year-old, but the average 40-year-old, right? And it's getting closer and closer to that like younger and younger having more of an advantage as it's getting like just like more and more ingrained in everything, right? Like I don't know. I've been talking a lot. I wanna hear your
I
guys'
love it.
thoughts, and maybe B, you can also share about like your streaming journey in the last week, like what else
Yeah.
has all been going on as well.
Heck yeah. No, I appreciate you, Z. No, it was a, sometimes I have these little just spur of the moment ideas, but yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from Jaden. Shout out to him. The UVR, they're having a historic week, a historic month, year. It's crazy. So yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, well, I was like, I seen that and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Just to see somebody talk to somebody that, they revere, right? You can just see it in their face. You can just see their like I've interacted with Jaden in multiple different avenues. And like when I saw him sit down, across the table from his pops, I was like, okay, I get it. Like Z was saying, I'm connecting the dots. And I was like, man, I miss my pops, the simple as that. I was like, I miss my dad. Let me hit him up. So, I've been sending some messages and stuff, kind of ramp those up. They're here and there every once in a while, not as much as they should be. That's one of the things we did talk about in that conversation was like, we're not utilizing the tech to communicate with humans, which is, which is crazy. Let's use it to communicate with strangers, but we're not
And
strengthening. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't want to cut you off, but on that point, last year the percentage of humans interacting with AIs was whatever percent. Let's just throw out a number and say 10.
Right.
This year, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20 that have just even interacted once, not like total interactions, but like interacted once. Now, just by pure like reality, it's gonna go from zero, all human to human, and like maybe 1% people interacting with bots on a daily basis, to significantly more than that because AI is gonna be that UI that we have with the computer world. So like it can only get more, right? Like it's a one directional trend, right? So it's really interesting to like think like at what point will be over 50% of your interactions are with a bot versus a thing, and then at what point will it just be the bots talking, right? And that dead internet theory, right? So it's like I love all of that, and I'm excited to have both of you guys here to chop it up because yeah, it's just been a good journey. And yeah, sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's gonna be interesting too because it's like I don't want to see, I've already been researching and seeing articles about like people are just stuck in these loops just talking to the bots and they're becoming dependent on them. When the network goes down, they're freaking out. Like that's strange to me. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll see a return where if we do hit this, dead internet theory, people are just gonna have to talk. They're gonna cycle all the way back and just have to talk to the people that are around them, and that's and we'll evolve and we'll hopefully we'll be okay. But yeah, it was an amazing conversation with Pops. We brought back our undivided attention spaces, an interview segment that we used to do way back, 2022 with the Ohnahji fam. We brought that back for season 2. Sat my dad down on 4th of July because I was like, yeah, he's probably not doing nothing, retired, So I was like, hey, I shot him a message like the day before. I was like, you want to sit down on the podcast? He was like, all right, and I was like, cool, let's do it.
I'll
And
do
then
anything for my kid type mentality, right?
Exactly. And then so, it was an epic conversation, like almost 3 hours long. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Shout out to everybody who like watched it after. I think we're up to like 130 views, after the fact. Thanks Z for, popping in and watch and just like after the fact, just digesting it, and I watched it.
Well, 3 hours is not something I have time for, right? So
right.
like very much had to take that over like 3, 4, 5 days. I don't know, what was it, last Saturday, right?
Exactly.
So I watched like the first 30 minutes during that day, and then like caught a little 30 minutes there, and then I got a 1 hour chunk, and then I got to like 25 minutes left, and I was like, perfect, I can do that. And B and I were talking, and I'm curious, Easy, if you're the same way. When you watch a not live video, what speed do you watch it at?
Oh, I watch it normal speed.
Interesting.
I'm not one of those people that like 1.5 or double times it. No, I watch pretty much everything. Sometimes a long voice message that comes in, I'll speed up some. But if I'm watching something, I want to be like fully involved. I mean, if it's something not important that's just like background while I'm working and I'm listening to a YouTube that's like something I wanted to like hear a little bit about, it doesn't have my full attention. But yeah, I'm excited to go see it, and I'll probably have to do it in a few chunks too. But I want to see that. I think it's super important to open up a window into our like personal lives, because we do focus so much on just technology, blockchain, meme coins, mini apps, like all this stuff. And you kind of lose track that people have this whole other part of their lives that we generally don't incorporate much. And it's super interesting because I was having a talk with Adabody, and he was like, bro, it's so great to hang out in person. We're like hugging. He's like, I talk to you more than I talk to like most of my family members. And we don't even talk like every day, but we're like, we have communications open. And I was like, yeah, I talk to you more than like, I think any of my brothers and sisters. And like, it's just wild that we have these very like close relationships that we build with people through this space. And then they might not even know hardly anything about your background outside of like music or art or blockchain and what you do here, which is all fascinating, but it makes it like it becomes more real when you like share about like parts of your personal life, your family life. Like I've been wanting to have my dad come and play at one of the Impact concerts for like years, and he was actually going to on the last the one that we did with Let's Grow DAO, but the timing was just off. He had like another gig. He was going to get home and play. But we wound up wrapping up kind of early. So, and it's interesting because for years, I would talk about the stuff I'm doing, and he was like, oh, it's interesting. But he sort of had that same mentality that like blockchain and Bitcoins and cryptos were basically like a fad or a scam or like what, most of my other family members. And like now that I've been doing it for, 6-7 years, and he's absorbed little bits as I tell him about it, he's like, oh, wow, this could like be really impactful. And I'm like, yeah.
You guys don't know how excited I get when my parents ask me like what I'm really doing. And it's like, oh, okay, you actually want to know? Or like even like recently on my drive back up, my dad asked me like, okay, so like how much crypto do you have, right? And I was like, oh, let me pull out the spreadsheet for you, Chief, and tell you exactly what percentage of my net worth is in crypto, right? And in what and why, right? Like, and just explaining to him that like because I've learned my lessons with investing, that I understand that it's a very volatile space. So I put a majority of my money in the conservative things, and I try and dollar cost average in. And I'm putting that bet on understanding the technology and believing that technologically in the future, when and if I do sell it, it'll be worth more because it's, got scaled up and continued on, right? So that's kind of where my mind is at. And I think what you said is the tokenization of everything and the monetization of everything in this space tends to be challenging because you have to have like these prerequisites, because whether it's just like internet safety and security or digital hygiene, right? Or just like understanding what a blockchain is, understanding what an NFT is, understanding why one blockchain has pros, why one blockchain has cons, why no more than 21 million Bitcoin could be minted, right? Like understanding like there's so many prerequisites to like being able to just start in the space, right? And I think that is one of the things that we're doing a good job of trying to find ways to make that friction point easier.
Those barriers come down over time. And it was the same thing with the internet when you had to have like a crazy setup in your modem and it's like 56K and it takes forever and like now you just pull out your phone, you're connected to like everything on the internet, uploading videos of like gigabyte, like it's wild. So the same thing that happened kind of with the internet over the past like 40 years, we're in the first decade of blockchain. So, and then when you bring AI in, that's an exponential factor that will speed it up exponentially faster than we experience the internet going global, which is, yeah, crazy. Like you were talking about earlier, you said like a couple years or a year ago, maybe 10% of people, I think 1% of people were interacting with AI a year ago, and we might already be at 10% now. Some people don't know about it. And that's the other thing. You might be in the future dealing with blockchain with an AI assistant, but you don't have to have those prerequisites. You don't, like, the security is taken care of for you. Like you may have a wallet that an AI sort of created for you or something, but you're not going to know about all the smart contracts and all the different aspects of the chains and the L2s. And like, it will pretty much do the thing for you. And you'll decide what crypto you might want to have a percentage of your portfolio in, what kind of assets you might want to own, using blockchain and NFT as proof of ownership for your car, for your house, dealing with your insurance and things like that as everything migrates to blockchain.
And that's the whole point of tech, right? It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to make, communication and interaction with humans easier. So yeah, I've noticed that a lot too, just going through these different, crypto blockchain market cycles and even pairing in AI with it.
I was just gonna say we got a good comment here. I'll pull it up.
Okay, all right, cool. Hey, that's what's up. I love it. Look at you, live hosting. Right? Yeah, the tech is supposed to be easy, and it's getting there, and it's getting mobile first, and it's getting a lot safer, right? And I'm seeing teams get picked up by other teams. It's like I'm telling you, this next iteration, this next bull market that might be a nice little segue we can get into. It's going to be a fun time, lads.
Yeah, no, I think I was about to say it's kind of hard though, even though it's supposed to be easy. And then Candy made this amazing comment that the prerequisites were in TradFi as well. They just didn't teach them to us, right? And I think that's actually the difference maker here, is not that people are teaching you what you could do here, but that you can in fact learn how to navigate the verified internet with blockchain. And I think that leverage point is something that everyone in this space is super excited to knowledge share and not gatekeep as traditional finance. So like that part is like the goal is to ultimately bring what traditional finance benefits are for the rich to everyone, right? And be able to get anyone to be able to fractionalize a share and be able to leverage the upside of that.
And
go ahead, Easy.
Not even just for finance. So the freedom of education, I think blockchain will impact tremendously. So when I first learned about smart contracts, and in my early days working with PageDAO to bring literature to the blockchain, I was like, envisioning Library of Alexandria. I'm thinking college books are going to be NFTs. You don't have to spend $500 on it and get 100 back because one page is bent. Like the scientific community, when those papers are on the blockchain and you don't have to pay some exorbitant price to be a member of like, you know, some, you know, body to be able to even get access to them. You know, it's very gated, like the scientific community, and those research papers are super gated. So bringing down the barriers to knowledge, I think, is another area where blockchain is going to be huge. Yeah.
And it's you know, going back to Candy's comment, it's like, you know, those things weren't taught to us for a reason, right? If you're because there's gains that can be made from gatekeeping people out of the information. When we enter a space where the technology is permissionless, anybody can play, it's, you know, for the most part, with the internet connection and enough tech to get you going and started, you know, anybody can play in this field. And when everything is transparent, everything, you know, for the most part, transparent. People are still figuring out tactics to get over on people, but for the most part, all this technology can be, you know, easily accessible by accessed by anyone, right? Just go to a simple blockchain scanner, you can see everything on there. And once you have that level of transparency, like, there's no reason to gatekeep. You know, there's a certain level to where, you know, there's no point. There's no financial gains by being secretive, keeping the people in the dark. So, and I think that's the coolest part, right? The education side is a testament to what we're doing here, right? This Let's Talk About Web3, what we've been doing on Ohnahji, what you know, Z Talent, the ZAO's been doing, what Easy's been doing. It's like we're all, and that's one of the reasons why we even all have connected. We have similar, you know, missions in this space to, like, this tech is, more people need to know about this tech, and we're going to share it and get it out to as many eyes as we can. If that's, you know, set up a decentralized organization that is bringing music tools to people, right? Or we're having concerts, and we're taking musicians and different things like that, right? And educating, having, you know, daily talks and stuff. Or if it's just building a, you know, quote unquote fictional, for now, whole university, we're all going to do that, because the goal is to get people in here. And a lot of people talk about, you know, mass adoption. Oh, it's just, you know, maybe mass education to start first. You know what I'm saying?
And,
yeah.
Dude, adoption, even one person at a time, is like a huge win right now. Like, you know, some of the things you were just saying brought up in my mind. Like, it's crazy. 5 years ago, Jose wanted to go to the Amazon. So
Wow.
we did a benefit concert, right? It got him there. Like, since then, he's been like digitally kind of, you know, busking through the metaverse. And he literally just landed in the US from Venezuela, like, very challenging to even get the permissions and stuff, and is here in my hometown just up the street. After 5 years, like, these things just culminate and grow and like get intertwined. The tribe that he went and visited, they have their own giveth page to be able to like earn money from blockchain, from donations during quadratic funding raises, where they had one building before. Now they've got like, you know, half a dozen, because they got to be able to purchase the tools they needed through people donating through blockchain. Like, this reaches into the middle of the Amazon rainforest right now, because a couple people connected and wanted to spread that knowledge, share that wealth. Like, it makes impact. And even if that's just literally a couple people connecting, one more person comes in, they plant seeds, it grows. Like, so I think at some point we are going to have that mass adoption that people have been talking about for years, but it's just these little connections that keep happening, and the web grows, and all of a sudden, you know, with the new tools of AI and stuff, we will, you know, in a year and 2 years, I don't know, they're just going to be like a mass, like, it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, I think the best summarization is that blockchain reduces the barriers to knowledge, right? And I think that's a huge step forward in what we've had in the past, right? And I think evening that playing field for everyone starts with knowledge. So just like you said, adoption happens one person at a time. That's all we need, and we'll rock it into maybe a little bit of what Ohnahji B has shared here, that you know, we hit an all-time high today in Bitcoin, first since like May. So it's been what, two months, a month and a half. So that's interesting, because now technically, right, like anything can happen, because before it was like, okay, like there is a limit here, like there is a ceiling, right? Now that ceiling's been pushed through. So it's interesting to see, like, Now all the macro stuff is super at play. Now everything, you
Yeah.
know, our president says makes a lot more of a difference to me. And like makes a bigger impact just straight up, because it's like I've been seeing for the last like month, 2 months, 3 months, the M2 money supply increasing. And like I've been told that one of the biggest indicators in, you know, general finance is that as more people are putting more capital onto the markets, you know, Bitcoin's going to grow.
Yep.
So that is supposedly a 3-month lagging indicator. So that kind of like starting 3 months ago or so kind of gives you that feel that, you know, I don't know, we've all been thinking this is like, when is this bull market coming? What's happening here? Have we stopped short? Like, what is exactly happening? I mean, it's all different, or is it the same, right? Like, what is happening here? So seeing that at this time, while we're all like super in build mode, doing amazing. And one of the things I want to do with you guys here at the end is maybe we can share some of our Q2 wins, because I'm trying to make a list of our ZAO Q2 wins. So I have a list maybe of 7 or 8 different things here that I've listed out, and I can rock it out first, and then anything you guys add, I'll add in our post when we do it. And I think kind of taking a look back every quarter at what you've done, and that goal setting and that redirection of like, in the end of the day, you don't want to always be thinking about your path and moving forward and changing the path, moving forward, change the path, moving forward and change the path. But if you know you're on that grind set, you're moving. You know, you always have to take that time to take a step back, look at the, like I said, macro of it all. One of my things I'm working on currently is an onboarding doc for the ZAO. And the challenge there is like, I really have to sit down and document every single group chat we have, every single like NFT we still have open to mint, every single kind of like link that's potentially out there that I do want to all include in this. So that kind of stemmed from this, you know, Q2 ending, half one ending, like Ohnahji B's been saying. And yeah, would love to kind of see how that goes. But yeah, we're halfway through the year and we're at the all-time highs. We were talking about, you know, this quote unquote second half of 2025 into 2026 being the projected years for the bull run. And I'm just very interested to see now how well of a tribe we've built to withstand this bull run. Because in all reality, that's the like end game. It's not like, okay, yeah, we can make however much we make, and you could hypothetically luck on generational wealth, screenshot it, and then hold it back down to zero. But like, I feel that if that's your end goal, then you're gonna have different priorities. But like, if your end goal is to get through this bear into the bull into the next bear and be able to survive, it's like an understanding that mechanics of like, we're looking for this long-term growth over a period of time. I was even thinking and looking at this. Did you guys know that Cisco is nearing its all-time high of 2000
Wow.
right now? In
Cisco
2000,
systems.
yeah, in 2000 it was set, because infrastructure usually gets exponential first and then dies down. And I didn't like, I that didn't even like comprehend to me. I was like, oh wow. So it's like it's just been on a steady climb since its